One of these days, I'm gonna need to brush my damn hair, at least groom it. It's like it's funny because I kind of got waves, but I just need to brush it a little bit. Anyway, um, this is more of a reminder to myself than a video. Even though I've done this all my life, I gotta remember to keep doing it. Even when times are rough, you gotta keep doing it, and that is to uplift black women. Um, Now, I'm not doing this to get praise from black women because this is something that, as a black man, you should do automatically. This is second nature. You gotta uplift our black women. I continuously said that the black community needs to do a reset. We need to make, we need to do a do-over. And the first thing we need to do before, even before uplifting black women, we need to give a fuck about ourselves. Once men Once we give a fuck about ourselves without going MGTOW. I have nothing against MGTOW, but without being MGTOW, we do got to give a fuck about ourselves. We got to step our game up. When we step our game up, it'll make us look better in women's eyes. Second, we gotta. How can I say this? I've been watching videos, and now I don't know if anybody's going to believe me, but I love I love black women. My if I People ask me do I have a preference, I say yes, and it's dark skinned women. Now I've dated a white girl, I've dated light skinned women, I've dated dark skinned women. Um, you know, I've had my colors. I have my share of colors. But if you ask me if I had a preference, it's dark skinned women. If you ask me, do black women have attitudes and all that, this and that? I've always said yes, but I've always thought of it as a good thing, never a bad thing. I feel like I've done said this many times before, um, but yeah, I've always thought of it as a good thing, not a bad thing. I think the problem, and I'm speaking for myself, it's not that you have the attitudes because I feel like if someone is fucking you over, I feel like you should tell them how you feel. It's like if you don't like it, let them know how you feel. Sometimes the problem with your attitude is who you use it on. Sometimes you, with black women, you use that, like I always looked at it as a gift, not a curse. But you kind of, like, as in Spider Man, the motto is with great power comes great responsibility. I do kind of look at it as a power, your attitudes and, the lashing out is not the problem. Because if I fuck up, I fuck up. I should get them lashings. But if I'm not doing anything and I'm getting yelled at or cursed at, that's when it becomes a problem. Me personally, I don't like getting yelled at or getting cursed out for shit that I can't either control or I don't know nothing about. And that's when I feel like that's what annoys black men because half of the times when y'all yelling, we don't know what the fuck we done. And it's like, and we'll ask you, babe, what's wrong? And you go, oh, nothing. And then we know you're bullshitting, but you go anyway, babe, what's wrong? And then you get the, I just think it's funny how. And then it's like, why didn't you tell, you don't have to play around the bush. Men don't like being played around the bush. We like to solve a problem. If there's a problem, we want to solve it. So, in conclusion to that one, yes, I do think y'all have attitudes and all that, but I don't think it's a bad thing. I think it's a good thing. It's just how you use it, if that makes sense. But anyway, I've always growing up. Since I've always liked dark skinned women, I've always looked at dark skinned women beautiful. I like growing I done joined the Navy. I done I hear these women talk about how sometimes they want a light skin, and I never really preference is one thing, and I do get that. I have seen it. I've seen niggas say, "I don't want a girl black like me because I want a baby," and it surprises me too. But I want to let you ladies know that there are men that will love you, especially the dark skinned ones, that will love you. They will fuck with you. That they'll love you. They'll worship the ground you walk on. Like we will, you know, They're the good men out there that you just gotta really look for. That's going to treat you like the queen that you want to be treated as. Now, let's start with the men. Like, I know sometimes men, we want a woman to be submissive, but I've always said this. In order for a woman to be submissive, you got to give them something to submit to. A lot of you niggas, like, y'all get into this relationship and y'all expect these women to be on their knees and all that other stuff. No, they're not going to do that, especially if they don't think you're worth it. Like, you got to earn the submissiveness from the black woman. For women, period, but especially from black women. It's like, especially if them niggas got a job, and I don't equate money in a relationship, but sometimes when they'll make more than you, they'll like, the fuck am I submitting to you for, nigga? I make more money than you. You need to submit to me and some shit like that. And now women, I do feel like y'all do chase after, or y'all don't pay attention to the dudes that really like you. I feel like y'all give all y'all attention to the fuck niggas that treat y'all like shit. And then when they treat y'all like shit, y'all go, niggas ain't shit. And then we're like, no, them niggas you was fucking with ain't shit. But at the same time, you knew who you was fucking with when you got with them in the first place. So how are we ain't shit when you was fucking with that nigga in the first place? But me personally, I've always, and you guys, any black on my Facebook, you guys, any black women I've talked to, I try to be a help and, listen. I try to be understanding and all that other good stuff, just so I do my share. Let's just say that, to try to uplift black women. Like, I know a lot of successful black women getting their degrees and they're going to school and then going to college. They're getting good jobs, and like a couple of them, they want to be actresses, and I tell them all the time, look, I got you. Look, as a man, I have your full support. I will support you through and through. If you want to do it, go achieve your dream. Because my father was like that to my mother. Anytime she wanted to go to school, she went to school. Got a degree in Washington Business School. Now, when she was a big woman, when she wanted a gastric bypass, my father was cool with it, supported her. So I'm like, even with my grandfather, he like supported my grandmother. You've always held it down. You can always see the love in there. So, like, I've grown up, to love and appreciate, black women, and I've had sisters. So I've always tried to, be a brother, a positive brother in their life and all that other stuff. Even though I do crack jokes on them, but I try to be a positive. Um, when I was in the Navy, I helped my mom's out with a car, but that's you know that doesn't really. I don't know if that really counts in anything, but that was me trying to help out my mother when she was trying to find a job. So take out or leave that. So 2019, I feel like, fellas, we should uplift our black women. I and to keep it short and to keep it a buck, I don't want black women to feel like no one gives a shit about them, especially black men. I want to see, like, when a black woman does something, black men is behind her. when someone is when a black woman is in trouble, like we're going to be behind. Well, we're going to be behind them. Now, we're as men, we're trapped by logic. So by logic, we'll maybe question here and there, but at the end of the day, I feel like black men, let's uplift these black women, and then at the same time, we get ourselves up. We got to uplift ourselves too. So, so when we uplift our black women, we feel good about ourselves. We uplift our brothers and say, "Hey, my brother, try to be a neighbor, try to be a good Samaritan, try to be something good in life where you can pass on to the next generation, and so the next generation of youth don't have to feel like where the black women don't feel like the black men don't care about them, and the youth, they have the black the young black boys, they have a way to express themselves without feeling judged. Hopefully, if I do another podcast, like last on my other one, I have a joint called "You Know What." Let me say podcast. We started with the man law about paying the dates, but if we ever do another one, I want to talk about man laws, and I want to talk about emotion, which I still need to make that video about men are emotional too. So sooner or later, I'm gonna get on that. So, with that being said, without trying to repeat myself and ramble on, uplift our black women. Show them that we care. It's like, and black women, once you see that, you know, repay the respect. Uplift us too, because we need the help too as much as you need. If you think you're on the bottom, we're on the bottom too, Richard. And if we could lift each other up, who knows where we can be. So this is me signing off. Peace. Uplift black women.